Hi everyone, here I am, Colfax Math, here to work on some standardized math practice. Today we're going to work on geometry problems, word problems. I have a 5-point strategy for solving any word problem, and we're going to go over that today. We'll give it a couple more minutes. I have my Chromebook here, so hopefully sound's good, video's good, and then what we're going to do right now is if you have any questions, just post them on this live, and I should be able to see them right here. So I have it on the schedule for 4 p.m. Oh, there we go. That looks pretty good. Actually, I could see that. Grab my juggling. Time we have there. So an alarm for 4 o'clock. Anybody there? Go ahead and post a comment if somebody gets in there. I'll always happily answer any questions you have. There we go. Number 1, cool. Basic fundamentals I should learn so I could get a semi-good score during math and geometry. Yeah, absolutely. The math book I have, ASVAB Algebra, there are a couple of chapters in here that are more advanced, but the first few chapters are really the foundation of the math. And then so that's probably where I would start, is go back to like chapters 1, 2, 3, 4 in this book. And then there are corresponding videos. If you go to that playlist, there's a playlist that say them too. Oh, look at this. All right, here we go. Can everybody hear me okay? See okay? That book's on Amazon. I think there might not be a link in this description, but there will be. And there's a link on my page as well. I'm live. Hi everyone. Hello. Hello. Nice to see you all. All right, so I think where we'll start is everybody should have paper out in front of them, taking notes. That process of taking notes really helps a lot. And then always try and do the problem before I do it. So what I have today is I have 14 geometry practice problems for the ASVAB. A lot of these are arithmetic reasoning, but some of them are mathematical knowledge as well. They're all word problems. They're all multiple choice. They all need to be done without a calculator. There's always some sort of trick to any one of them. The mathematical knowledge section of the ASVAB military placement exam is really checking your overall knowledge of the mathematical subject area. Arithmetic reasoning is more about how you could reason your way through a word problem. So these are kind of a mix of both of those. Doing well on these, you'll do well on the ASVAB math portion. There are 14 problems here. The first 10 are pretty easy, and then the last 4, I would say, are pretty hard, definitely a harder level, checking a lot more knowledge. Okay, so with all that said, I'll go ahead and get started. What I would do right here is I would take down these notes right here. So what we're working on today is geometry practice problems. And then my 5-step process right here is first thing you want to do is you want to take that sentence and convert it to a picture. And then you want to identify what it is that they are asking for. So easy to do all of this work, do so much of it correct, do all of it correctly, do a ton of work, and solve for something that they're not looking for, which will also usually be an answer in the solutions. So convert the problem to a picture. Check what they're asking for, convert the picture to an equation, solve the equation, and if there's time, check your work. So let's go ahead and do that 5-step process on this problem right here. a triangle has a base of 12 and a height of 8, what is the area of the triangle? So step 1, convert that paragraph to my picture. There it is. Step 2, what am I looking for? Area. Step 3, create that equation. So from here, I know that area is equal to 1/2 base times height. Multiplication is commutative, which means I could do 1/2 times 8, 4. 4 times 12, 48. Or I could do 1/2 times 12, 6. 6 times 8, 48. So solve the equation, 48. Correct answer C. And then the check is, what is the area? I am finding the area by base times height times 1/2. How'd that one go? Okay, so again, let me just run that 5-step process one more time. Convert the problem to a picture. Double check what is it that they are specifically asking for. Convert the picture to an equation. Solve the equation. Answer the problem. And then if there's time, go ahead and check. Okay, with that said, we have that 5-step process. Go ahead and use that 5-step process on this problem right here. I'll give you a minute to solve this problem in that 5-step process. So first thing you want to do, convert that sentence to a picture. What is it that they are looking for? Convert that picture to an equation. Solve the equation. Check. See some answers up there. All right, good to see everybody's doing this problem. Convert the right triangle has legs of 5 and 12. So there's a part here, a right triangle has legs of 5 and 12. What is the length of the hypotenuse? So that is this right here. I'm going to call it x in centimeters. So there are some centimeters in here. These are centimeters, centimeters, centimeters. I'm not even going to have to worry about that. So I've converted that sentence to a picture. Now I need what are we looking for? We are looking for the length of the hypotenuse, step 2. Convert that picture to an equation. That's going to be the Pythagorean theorem. One leg squared plus the other leg squared equals the hypotenuse squared. Now that I have my equation, solve the equation. 5 squared is 5 times 5, 25. 12 squared is 12 times 12, 144. And that's equal to x squared. After I do my exponents, I then add 169 is equal to x squared. Then I'm going to take the square root of each side. Square root and square cancel. If I do that to the right, I do it to the left as well. Square root of 169 is 13. Correct answer, answer C right there. Making sure I answer the correct thing that I'm being asked to find. So I found the hypotenuse. Lastly, I'll just go back and check. What is the length of the hypotenuse? That's what I found. 5 squared plus 12 squared equals 13 squared. All right, keep working, Adam. Nice to have all those comments there. Okay, let me move up to the next one. Again, we're going to do this as well with that 5-step process. Convert the sentence to a picture. What are we looking for? Convert the picture to an equation. Solve the equation. Check. I'll give you a second to work on this one, and I'll just take a look at your responses here. Oh, this is great for the GED as well. If you didn't do well on the GED exam, that's fine. Now's the time to learn it. We'll work through it. I have this class every Wednesday. I missed class last Wednesday because of Thanksgiving, but I have it every Wednesday, 4 p.m. I guess you know that since you're here. I post a video every Tuesday at 4 p.m. and then shorts kind of whenever I think of it. I cut and paste a lot of my problems for the short videos. I guess with all that said, though, I will say, if you would please subscribe. I'm trying to, by the end of this year, break 100,000, just a personal goal to hit that subscriber number. So if you would do that, that'd be great. And then trick 3, Louisiana has a plus b. Remember, it is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay, so let's go ahead. Hopefully everybody did this on their paper. What is the volume? So that's step 2. What are we looking for? We're looking for volume in cubic feet of a cube with a side of 4 feet. So a cube is a square base, 4 by 4, and then a depth, the same thing. It's actually as much of a vocab problem as it is anything else. You need to know what a cube is. So this is 4 by 4 by 4 deep. Sentence to picture, picture to equation. Well, volume is equal to 4 times 4, the face area, times the depth. Again, multiplication is commutative, so I'm going to just go 4 times 4, 16. 16 times 4, I could do that in my head by doubling 16, 32, doubling it again, 64. So the volume is equal to 64, and the correct answer is answer C right there. Step 5, check your work. What is the volume in cubic feet of a cube with the length 4 feet? My units work, and I can see it's 4 times 4 times 4. Okay. Hopefully I gave you long enough to do that one. Okay, number 4, same 5-point strategy. Convert the sentence to a picture. What are you looking for? Picture to an equation. Solve the equation. Check. I'll give you a second to do that. Yeah, young for wealth. That's okay. I mean, it takes a lot of reps, a lot of repetition. The more problems you do, the better you get at them. But don't drop any F-bombs. I usually delete any comments that have swear words in it in case kids are working with this stuff too. Okay, so with all that said, so everybody had a chance to work on number 4 here. I'm going to convert that sentence, into a picture. 2 angles are supplementary. The way I remember this, complementary with a C adds up to 90. Supplementary add up to 180. So those are 2 vocab words you just have to know. I remember C comes before S in the alphabet. 90 comes before 180 in the alphabet. So if they are supplementary, they add up to 180. So I'm going to convert sentence to picture. If one angle measures 65 degrees, that little dot right there is for degrees, 360 degrees in a circle. What is the measure of the other angle? So again, I've gone from sentence to picture. Then I am looking for, what am I looking for? What is the other angle? So I'm looking for that. Sentence to picture, identify what I'm looking for, picture to equation. Well, I know this and this is a straight angle, meaning x plus 65 has to equal 180. Step 1, draw a picture. Step 2, identify the thing I'm looking for. Step 3, create the equation. Step 4, solve. Subtract 65 from both sides. That gives me x by itself. 180 minus 65, 115. Correct answer, answer C, right there. Step 5, check it. 115 plus 65 will give me that full angle of 180, and I am looking for the other angle. I think I've hit a lot of C's when I made up this test. I don't know why. All right, moving on. Problem number 5, 5-step process. You know, part of this too, when you draw out this picture, you make less like transpositional errors. I'll give you a second right here. There you go. See a couple correct answers here. All right, here we go on this one. Remember, you got your paper and pencil in front of you, doing it before I do with a 5-step process. Convert sentence to picture. A circular pool has a diameter of 10 meters. What is the area of the pool? What is the area of the pool? That's my step 2. I am looking for area in square meters in terms of pi. So drawing that picture will help me identify that the radius is half the diameter. Half of 10 is 5, so I have a radius of 5. Area, the equation for area is pi r squared. Circumference is 2 pi r, but we are looking for the area. R we have is 5. So step 1, create picture. Step 2, what am I looking for? Step 3, equation. So the area is going to be equal to pi r squared, because I got that 5. Step 4, solve the equation. I have to do exponents first. Remember PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents, then multiplication. 5 squared, 5 times 5, 25 times pi. Multiplication is commutative. It could be pi times 25 or 25 times pi. Either of those are right. Correct answer, answer A right there. Did you get it? I don't see any A's there. You do have to know that equation. Step 5, check your work. Pool has a diameter of 10, therefore a radius of 5. Area is radius squared times pi. Okay, moving on to number 6. Rectangular garden is 15. So I'll give you a second to do this problem. Again, write it out. Don't skip any steps. Check a few comments while you're working on this. Okay. Put a comment in there if I'm going too fast. I give you more time to work on it. When you're watching my other videos, it's really nice because the pace goes quickly. You could pause it for whatever time you need. Okay, convert this into a picture, a rectangular garden, 15 feet long by 8 feet wide. There's my picture. Step 2, what am I looking for? Perimeter. That's the key word here. And I'll show you why that's the key word, right? If I saw this and I just found the area would be base times height. 15 times 8 is 120. That's answer A. It's an automatic distractor. I'm not looking for area. I'm looking for perimeter. So it's important to draw that out. And then step 2 is really important to solve for what you are being asked to find, right? So it's really about attention to detail there. Well, if I'm looking for the perimeter, this is 15, this is 15, this is also 8. From there, I need to find the equation. So I'm going to just take 15 plus 15, 30, plus 8 and 8, 16 is equal to my perimeter. Solving the equation, perimeter is equal to 46 feet. Correct answer, answer B right there. Step 5, the check is rectangular garden is 15 feet by 8 feet. What is the perimeter? I found perimeter of the garden in feet. So on my units work, everything I have, that is correct answer. How many people got that? Oh, yeah, there we go. That's looking good. Okay, going to number 7. I'll pause the video here for a minute. Create the picture. What are you looking for? The equation. Solve, and then check. Oh, I see somebody has P is equal to L plus W. Remember, it's 2 lengths plus 2 widths. All right, number 7, I'll go ahead and get started here. A triangle has 2 interior angles. I'm just going to draw any triangle. One of the angles is 40 degrees. One of the angles is 75 degrees. The little dots mean degrees. What is the measure of the third angle in degrees? So that's step 2, the measure of the third angle. So I'm looking for this right here. Step 1, sentence to picture. Step 2, identify what I'm looking for. Step 3, create an equation. 75 plus 40 plus x has to equal, here's the kind of trick, the geometry part you got to know. All 3 angles in a triangle add up to 180. So all 3 angles add up to 180. Now I have my equation. Step 4, solve. 75 and 40 is 115 plus x equals 180. Got to get this by itself. Subtract 115 from each side, and x is equal to, I think, 65. Step 5, check. Oh, here, let me circle that. 65 plus 40, 105, 105 plus 75 is 180. And then my other check is, what am I looking for? What's the measure of the third angle? That's what I got. Correct answer, answer B. Answer B. I see some B's there. Very nice. I know that's looking good. All right. There are these pieces of math you have to know, and you're going to see that as well in the mathematical knowledge. Area of a circle, pi r squared. All 3 angles of a triangle add up to 180. Complementary, 2 angles that add to 90. Supplementary, 2 angles that add up to 180. I think those were the rules we had. Wow, I'm talking. Hopefully you're getting this worked out. All right. What is the slope of the line segment that connects these points? We draw that picture. I'm on the Cartesian coordinate plane. This is x. This is y. These are ordered pairs. This is always x first and then y. I always go over to the elevator before I go up the elevator. My first coordinate is -3, 4. So I go over -3 and up 4. There's my point right there. Then my second point right here, x, y, is over 5, up 8. So there's my second point right there. It's a pretty complex picture, and it's a short test. You don't have that much time. But now that I have that picture, I can kind of figure out what it is we're looking for. And what we are looking for is slope. So it is a line that connects these 2 dots, and I am looking for the slope. Slope, m, is rise over run. So it's always rise over run. One of those math facts you have to know, rise over run. I mean, there's a complex equation for it, but instead of doing that complex equation or even memorizing it, I'm just going to figure out how much it rises. Well, it goes from 4 to 8, so it's going to rise 4. So the rise is 4. How much is it going to run? Well, it's going to run from -3 to 5. It's going to run 8. So what is the slope? The reduced fraction is 1/2. Correct answer, answer C right there. Pretty good one on coordinates. Pretty hard one because you got to know what the coordinates are. You got to know ordered pairs. You got to know how to graph those, connect them with a line. And then most importantly, you need to know the definition of slope, m, rise over run. So a lot of math knowledge in this one. How many people got that one right? Oh, there's some C's there. That's good. Please explain more. Absolutely. So what this is right here, this is really one of the biggest ideas in math, is this whole idea of a Cartesian coordinate plane. So you really start early on in your math career. I mean, really, the way you start math is just counting steps, and that's building 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you keep working in one-dimensional space like this for a long time. From there, you take that individual 1 unit and you just magnify it way out, just like on a Google map. You zoom in, and then you take that 1 little unit, you cut it in half, so you learn your fractions, decimals, percents, addition, subtraction. All of that's all done on this number line. And then as you move on in your math, you go from one-dimensional space into two-dimensional space. So you create a second axis y, and now you have a value x and y. So now you're able to go from a singular dimension to two-dimensional space. Actually, let me do it this way. Let me do a little color code here. So this is your vertical axis y, and your second value will always be on the y. So those are ordered pairs. So the first value in red is your x value. So I'm going to put these together. I want to go over -3 in x and then 4 in y. And that just gives me a point. That point is this point in space. You can see why this is so important for the military, right? I mean, everything you're doing is where you are on Earth, where your tank is in the field, where the plane is, where the boat is in the ocean, right? Just kind of understanding where you are in space is all done with these coordinates. Then my second point right here, 5, 8, is I go over 5 right here in x, and then up to 8 here, and there's my second ordered pair. So the first step of this is understanding the Cartesian coordinate plane, where the ordered pairs go in there. And then once you kind of get that figured out, then you're going to connect the dots with a line. And that line is actually going to be the hypotenuse of a right triangle. And that hypotenuse is going to be made up of a horizontal segment and a vertical segment. This is so foundational in all navigation, in all armaments, in ballistics, where you break everything into a horizontal and vertical component like that. Then now that I've kind of created this triangle with a hypotenuse, I want to know rise over run. Well, rise is how far it goes up. Well, it goes from 4 to 8, so my rise is 4. And then my run goes from -3 to 5 is 8. And then that slope is how much I went up over how much I went over. And then I reduce that fraction to get 1/2. So I know I kind of went pretty long explanation right there, but hopefully this is really foundational skills. Okay, then from 8, we'll move up to number 9. I'll give a short pause here, let you try to figure this out, and then I'll go over it. All right. Okay, convert that sentence to a picture. A square field. That's an important word right there because it means this and this are the same. Is 20 yards on each side. If 1 yard equals 3 feet, what is the area of the field in square feet? So what we're looking for is we are looking for the area in square feet, right? So that's important. This is 20 yards. I could do this a couple of ways, but I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do that conversion. 3 feet to the yard. So I multiply this by 1. 3 feet equal 1 yard. I'm multiplying by 1, doesn't change the value, but my units cancel. 20 times 3 is 60. The only units I have are feet. Again, it's a square, so whatever this is. So this is 60 feet. So this is kind of two things. One is unit conversion, and then one is area. Well, now that I have that, I have 6 times 6, 36. Anything that looks like a 36 over here is going to have to be the answer. So the correct answer is answer C. If we're doing our 5-step process, convert sentence to picture. And then after I did that picture, then I did an extra step to get into the correct units. What am I looking for? Area in square feet. Create an equation, 60 times 60. And then step 4, solve the equation. 0, 0, placeholder, 0, 6 times 6, 36. Add straight down, 3,600. correct answer, answer C. And then step 5, check your work. I think I did there. Pretty good problem. Okay, problem number 10. Before we get to the hard ones, give you a minute here. Very good. All right, problem number 10. A box is a rectangular prism. So there's a rectangular part with a length of 5 inches and the width of 3 inches and the height, excuse me, of 2 inches. So a prism is a solid. There's my face, but now I'm going to go deep 2 inches. So the depth is going to be 2. So sentence to picture. What is the surface area? Boom, that's a good one right there. What is the surface area of the box in square inches? Be pretty easy to find the volume. The volume would be 5 times 3 times 2, 30. That answer is up there. It is a wrong answer. Easy to do if you don't read the problem carefully and identify step 2. What am I looking for? So I am looking for the surface area. So surface area of this front plane is 5 times 3. So this is going to be 15. This side plane right here, if that's 2, that's 2. This will be 6. If that's 5, this is 5. That top plane is 5 times 2, 10. And remember, in this solid, there are 6 faces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So I'm going to add all 3 of these together, 15 plus 10 plus 6. But remember, I got 2 of them. So 15 plus 10, 25 plus 6 is 31 times 2 is 62. Correct answer, answer D right there. If I didn't really stop and read thoroughly, I would have got answer B, but that's not what they're asking for. They're asking for surface area, so correct answer is 62 right there. That's a hard problem. This one's all about really breaking it down and being thorough to get the right, what you're actually solving for. All right, should we get to the hard ones or should we call it quits? Let's do a couple more here. So these are pretty challenging geometry problems that go beyond the basics. They're pretty suitable for a high-level preparation for the ASVAB math knowledge, and they cover pretty complex geometric formulas with algebra included. Okay? I'll pause here, give you a second to do this one. And these are getting a little bit harder. All right, good. Somebody says let's do the hard ones, so good. We'll do these. Convert that sentence to a picture. Okay. Oh, jump right in. Okay. Cylinder contains a volume of 192 pi cubic inches. The height is 12. What is the radius of the base? So step 1, create the picture. Step 2, what am I looking for? I'm looking for that. Well, I know the volume of a cylinder is base area times height. Base area is a circle. It is going to be pi r squared. My base area is that circle. I don't know what my radius is. That's what I'm asking for, right? That's what the question is asking for. So it's x. And I am told my volume is 192 pi. Sentence to picture. What am I looking for? Step 3, create my equation. And then, oh no, wait, pi r squared times 12, right? Base area times height equals volume. Then what I'm going to do from here, I have my equation. Base area times height equals my volume. I'm going to divide both sides by pi. These are going to cancel. Then I want to get rid of that 12. Divide both sides by 12. These cancel. 192 divided by 12. I think that might be, I don't know. 192 divided by 12 goes in here once. 72 is 6. 16 times. So those cancel. 192 divided by 12 is 16. X squared equals 16. Probably one of the answers there. You worked really hard. You did all this great work. You did 98% of the problem. But the answer is not 16. It is asking you, what is the radius? I got to get x by itself. Square root of this side, boom, boom. I got to take square root of that. X is equal to 4. Correct answer is B right there. If you got that, you get this. Because that's a hard one, right? Converting all this to the picture, knowing that volume is base area times height, setting up that equation to equal that, canceling your pi's, square rooting to get that radius. That's a tough one. Okay, let's keep going. This one's a lot too, right? You're creating a parallelogram, so you need to know your geometric shapes on Cartesian coordinates. So we're going to mix those two things together, and then we're going to solve. I'll give you a second to do this one. Then I'll work through that 5-step process as well. See any comments? If I should slow down, speed up, keep going. Trick 3 Louisiana, is great having you here. Oh, that's great to hear. Your score went out. That's great to hear. Please post this video. Can you please post this video? Yeah, I think these lives go live, but maybe I should do an additional video where I just work through these problems, and I won't have these long pauses like it does in a live video. Yada, yada. I'm talking a lot. I'm trying to get some work done. I'm just talking in the background. Probably don't need a pause. You just need a mute. I'll still give you another minute, but I'll still keep talking. Yeah, if you would subscribe. I hate to ask everybody to subscribe, but I don't know why, but I'd just love to break 100,000 subs. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. Let's create this picture first. Step 1, parallelogram. I need to know it looks like this. Parallel sides, but not perpendicular. Vertices, those are the points on there. And then those are the coordinates. So what is the area of the parallelogram? So step 2 is I need to find, whoops, oh. Sorry about that. What is the area of the parallelogram? On the coordinate plane, I'm going to draw this. They are all positive, so I'm in the first quadrant. The first value is at 1, 1. The second value is here. Second value here is 5, 1. So I go over to 5. I go up 1. The third value is 6, 4. I go over 6, up 4. And then the fourth value, kind of running out of the colors here, is 2, 4. I connect the dots. And then here's a hard one, but area of a parallelogram is actually base times height. So in this case, my area is going to be my base from here to here, from 1 to 5, which is 4, times my height from 1 to 4, 3. So my area is going to be 4 times 3, or 12. Correct answer, answer C right there. So 5-step process work, but you need to know a lot. The reason why that works, why it's base times height, is if I were to cut this triangle off right here and move it over here, I would get rid of this altogether, and I could see my base would be 4, that rectangle, and my height still 3, and that's why that works. I mean, are there any quicker ways to do this? I could see that my height here is 1, and my y values, and my height here is 4. So I could see that my height would be 3, And then in my x values, I go from 1 to 5, which is 4, and then 2 to 6, which is 4. But I think you got to kind of knock this thing. I mean, it's a lot of steps to that problem. All right, step 5, check your work. Base area times height gives me that area. It is what I was looking for. All right, problem number 13, 2 more to go here. Go ahead and draw this picture out. What are we looking for? And then solve the equation. Timothy Rodriguez, I wouldn't be worried about that one bit. It just means you got to put a little work in. There's nothing wrong with that. It just means you got to do some work. Yeah, so Timothy, I would just kind of set up a plan. Every night I'm just going to do 30 minutes of math. I'm going to start at the beginning, work your way forward. You'll get there. It's just a little bit of work. It's tough to get started, but once you get started and you get in the habit, a little step, a little step, a little step, before you know it, you're there. So just get on that path and you'll do it. I'm confident you'll bring that score way up. Sniper Monkey, that's really nice for you to say. Yeah, I really appreciate that. That's funny, it was on TikTok. I try to stay off of TikTok. I mean, some of my students in class actually get on TikTok. I just can't seem to do it. I don't know why. I'm not much of a multitasker. YouTube really takes pretty much my full capacity as it is. All right. Then I guess I go on some conspiracy theories on TikTok too, but I won't. So, all right. Hopefully you have that paper and pencil in front of you. You're doing this problem. Let's convert this sentence into a picture. A trapezoid, that looks like this. Whoops, not a very good trapezoid. So the top and bottom are parallel, the sides are not. The area of a trapezoid is, this is a tough one. You got to know that base 1 plus base 2, base 1 plus base 2, what am I doing there? Base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2 is what they call a median, and it's the average of the top and the bottom. And you're going to take that base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2 and multiply it by the height. Again, these are hard problems. That's the overall height here. So that's kind of the background math knowledge you need. Trapezoid has an area of 36, so area is equal to 36, and a height of 4 feet. So the height is 4 feet. If one base is twice the length of the other base. I don't know how long this base is, but I'm going to call it x. This one, whatever this is twice as long. Find the length of the longer base in feet. So this is what I'm looking for. I'm not solving for x. I'm looking for the longer base. Picture to equation. What am I solving for? The longer base. Step 2, step 3, create that equation. Well, that means base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2 times the height is equal to the area. It's a hard equation right there. Then I'm going to just multiply right here. 2 goes into 4 2 times, so I have x plus 2x, 3x times 2 equals 36. I could divide right now, divide both sides by 2, combine these to get 3x equals 36 divided by 2, 18. Still solving my equation, divide both sides by 3. That cancels. 18 divided by 3 is 6. Now I have a value for x. Easy to go right there to answer B. Bong! Wrong. Right? This is 6, but it is saying find the length of the longer base. 6 goes right in there. The longer base is 12. Correct answer, answer D. If you got that one, you know what's going on, because this is a hard problem. Decoding that sentence to that picture is hard. writing down what you're looking for isn't too hard. Going from that picture to that equation is really hard. Knowing the area of a trapezoid is hard. Solving that equation, coming up with that beautiful answer of 6, not circling it no matter how badly you want to, taking it and plugging it in and making sure you solve for what you're asked to solve for. All right, last problem, number 14. It's kind of turning into a record here. You guys are doing all right. I sure wouldn't bag on anybody not doing well. You just need to work a little bit. Everybody's got their gifts. I know that. Smartest people I know today, my closest friends, would never pass one of my math classes. But they are always the first people I go to figure anything out. This is just doing well on a standardized test. Is about doing well on a standardized test. It has nothing to do with brain power. It's just how much you practice, how much you've been exposed to it, how well you do. So if you're not doing well on this stuff, I wouldn't worry about it. I would just work to improve. All right, hopefully with that little yarn, you got this problem done. See if we can figure this out. A rectangular prism box. So we got a rectangular prism box. Let's convert that sentence to a picture. Has a length of 3 feet and a width of 4 feet and a height of 12 feet. So it's kind of bad drawing, but that height going deep in there is 12. What is the length of the diagonal inside of the box? This is a really hard problem right here. So we are looking not for the length of the base, but the diagonal from corner to corner right there. So this is a really hard problem. I am just going to draw out the base. And that base is this 4 and then this 12. I want to find that diagonal first. That diagonal right there is going to be Pythagorean theorem. 4 squared plus 12 squared. 4 squared plus 12 squared equals c squared. 16 plus 144 equals c squared. C squared equals 150, 160. Square root of each side. I'm going to leave that as the square root of 160. Hopefully that'll work. Oh, it will. So c is equal to the square root of 160. That's this bottom piece right here, right? That's actually this piece right here from bottom to bottom. And then right here, I go up 3. So now I have this triangle right here. That's the square root of 160. That's 3. I know it's really hard to see, but if I draw that out here, this is the square root of 160. This is 3. Square root of 160 squared is just 160. Square root of, so I'm going to go a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Square root of 160 squared is 160 plus 3 squared equals this thing squared. 160 plus 9 is 169 equals x squared. Square root of each side. Square root of 169 is 13. Correct answer, answer D right there. If you got that one, you're killing it. That was one hard problem right there. Because now, remember how I started is that all those years of math, you're just on that x-axis. Then you finally go to that y-axis. Well, then the next step is you create a z-axis. Now you're in 3-dimensional space, which is a giant leap from 2-dimensional space. But that's what we're doing here is we're building a box. You think of a toolbox, the longest tool you get from that bottom lower corner to the front upper corner, and that's going to be 13 right there. All right. With all that said, if you just need all of this, I have a book on Amazon. You could buy this book. I have 25 videos that go through the 25 chapters. So you don't really have to do this book by yourself. I mean, if you don't mind me talking in your ear, obviously, after this, hour of talking, you could tell I could talk. So I'll go through this whole book with you in those videos. I'm also working on, there are 5 parts in this book, so I'm working on 5 videos to cover the whole book. And I think what I'm thinking of right now, I got 2 thoughts. One is I was thinking of putting together like the 7 Essentials of Math book, which is really just the foundational skills you need for any standardized test. All the things you have to know, not well, but really well before you move on to algebra. And then the other thing I'm working on too is I have these measurement toolbox cards. These are fractional playing cards. And the point of these playing cards is that you could play any game like you usually play with them, but you're working in fractions, decimals, or equivalents, just to build that fluency in a really hard topic. All right, with all that said, let me read a couple of comments. I do like that comment. Don't study the night before, but 6 months before. Yeah, no, this is a hard problem right here. The first 10 of these are what I would call kind of easy to medium problems, and then these last 4 problems were really hard. All right, well, really appreciate you all watching. I enjoy going on this journey with you, trying to figure out, this different levels of math, working our way through it. I have been teaching high school math for 31 years. Also teach woodshop, so I get a lot of that practical math in there. Okay, thank you for watching. Any questions, post them. Post them in the comments, and I'll try and answer them as quick as I can. Thank you. Thanks for watching.